Carl Schmitt remains one of the most controversial figures in modern political theory, not just for his ideas, but for what he did with them. In the early 1930s, Schmitt publicly endorsed the Nazi regime, accepting academic and legal positions under Hitler's government. He used his theory of sovereignty and the state of exception to help justify the suspension of constitutional norms, aligning law with the will of the Führer. Though he later fell out of favor within the Nazi elite, this collaboration casts a long shadow over his intellectual legacy. And yet, Schmitt's ideas have refused to disappear. Over the decades, they've resurfaced in multiple political traditions, sometimes admired, sometimes feared. In legal theory, his critique of liberal constitutionalism has sparked enduring debates about emergency powers, judicial activism, and the limits of procedural governance. In international relations, realists have drawn from Schmitt's rejection of moral universalism, emphasizing power, interest, and conflict over liberal idealism. But Schmitt's most lasting influence may be in our understanding of modern politics itself. His friend-enemy logic, the idea that political identity is forged through opposition, has gained renewed relevance in an age of deepening polarization. Across the globe, we see populist leaders framing politics as a moral struggle. The real people versus elites, patriots versus traitors, order versus chaos. This isn't just rhetoric, it reflects a Schmittian structure where politics becomes existential and compromise is seen as betrayal. Likewise, his notion of the state of exception has become a touchstone in analyzing how governments respond to crises, terrorism, pandemics, mass protests, by expanding executive power and suspending legal norms. Scholars like Giorgio Agamben have extended Schmitt's framework to argue that the modern state increasingly operates in a permanent state of exception, where emergency becomes the rule. Despite or because of his troubling past, Schmitt forces us to confront difficult questions. What holds a political community together? How do we balance legality with survival? And what happens when institutions can no longer mediate conflict? Schmitt does not offer comforting answers, but his work compels us to take politics seriously, not as a space of endless discussion, but as a realm of decision, identity, and danger. In an era of fractured democracies, culture wars, and contested sovereignties, Schmitt's shadow remains both illuminating and ominous, a reminder that the political is never neutral and never safe.